Good morning, nerds. So often I read random obscure poems on Google, and I came across this poem called Among Us by Kyla Martel Feldman, which I will read to you in a moment, but first I want to talk about why this poem and what it reminds me of. There used to be a crumpled piece of paper in some corner of my bookshelf, and about 2.5 months ago I had this great urge to go look at that piece of paper. But I didn't find it. I turned my entire room upside down, but I didn't find it. I was very upset about it for a long time, this piece of paper that I never really cared about. I realized belatedly that at some point in the last 2 years I must have thrown it away, as I do with a lot of things when I'm deeply upset or enraged. I think that I don't need or want those things, but in fact I do. This piece of paper I had acquired in 8th grade. One day during break, I found a paper on my desk. The paper contained a 5 stanza poem. It was very cringy, but middle schoolers find everything cringy anyway. It was a sweet poem. This poem was written for me, and it was written about me in my appreciation. It talked about how I'm a lovely person who does cool things. It rhymed well. The last 2 lines had clues to guess who the poet was. It was not very difficult to figure that out. A lot of people took turns to read the poem and guess the poet's identity. This girl was so happy that we all guessed correctly and that I found the gesture endearing. Everyone liked it, and they all agreed with what the poem said. What no one knew is that I stood in a class of about 40 people, utterly ashamed of myself. I changed schools, so I had known these people for only about 6 months, and I could not believe that in such a short amount of time I had fooled so many people. I feared that soon this illusion would fade and everyone would know how all of this was a sham, that I didn't belong with these people who were definitely doing way cooler things and were actually smart. At that moment, with a list of achievements in my hand, I felt extremely worthless. All I wanted to do was disappear so no one would find out about the intricately woven lies. I folded that piece of paper and put it in my pocket. Over the years, I've read that poem a couple of times, but I can no longer do so. I don't know why I kept it, or how I lost it, or if I really threw it away, and I don't remember any of its lines. The poem disappeared like one day all these deceptions will vanish and reveal me for the imposter that I am. Ironically, or not, the remarks on my 8th grade academic report card read, "She has adjusted well with the class. She's a good student who appears to be a deep thinker. She's doing strong work in all areas. Keep it up." To this day, people applaud me for the things I do and the person that I am, but I can only strive to be all of those things. It's hard, but sometimes I let myself believe them. Otherwise, it's just fake it until I make it. But I really like this poem by Kyla Feldman. Among Us. I don't deserve to be here. I am a waste of talent, a whirlpool of neglect. I ask for forgiveness instead of permission. I steal things. I tell lies for a living. I eat meat and drink cow's milk. I cheat at board games even though it's less fun that way. And I don't call my mom nearly enough, nearly as much as I complain about missing her. I'm taking up a space here undeservedly, but I built the table, so I get to stay in my seat. We called ourselves sovereign because the royal court didn't want us, because the Soho didn't want us, because VOLAB and the BFI and the Arts Council said no thanks. So we made our own crowns out of tin foil and gold leaves and daisies, and sewed the jewels on ourselves. We built a big table big enough for 6. We glued our bumps to the chairs, and even though I've carved my name into it, Kyla was here 2021, I still don't think I belong. Because Elle is strong, and Evie is funny, and Hannah is gentle, and Becky is kind, and Zoe is a rainbow, and each of them is a kaleidoscope of all these things. I still feel like the imposter in a game of Among Us. And they should throw me out the airlock because I'm a wolf in a sheep's clothing. I'm not what you think I am. I call myself the administrator because my crown is made of bronze, polished to a high shine, and it's turning my forehead green. I used Gorilla Glue to stick my bum to this throne, so you'd need a surgeon to get me off it. But I do not belong. And one day you'll find out. One day the Scooby Gang will catch me in a rabbit snare, pull off my fox tiara, and proclaim with glee, "See, it was the carpenter all along." But that's not true, because we built a table together, so I will make myself strong, I will make myself funny, I will make myself gentle, I will make myself kind, I will make myself a rainbow, I will make a kaleidoscope of all these things, and gorilla glue my hands to yours, so we will always be together, and I will learn to see myself the way you do, the way you have seen me from the beginning, the way you would have to have seen me, or you would never have answered the call to build the table in the first place. And when that happens, I will deserve to be here. Nerds, I will see you tomorrow.